I was in the middle of a coding frenzy when my stomach started rumbling constantly. I decided that my coding project can wait a few minutes and that I needed to go grab some food. I live in the western United States, so the nearest place is always McDonald's. I just wanted some quick food. I wasn't dressed. I hadn't showered all day, so I wanted to run to the nearest drive-thru and get back. McDonald's it was then. I picked myself up from the computer, threw a leash on my dog, and headed out. I loaded the dog in my car and turned on the ignition. Outside there was still a bit of light. The sun had just dipped behind the mountains in the horizon, and it was just dark enough to warrant the headlights. As I'm winding my way out of the neighborhood, I started to notice that the street lamps kept going out as I passed underneath them and then coming back on when I passed them, which I thought was strange, but I chalked it up to coincidence as I've had streetlights go out on me before. I eventually made it to one of the last turns to get out of the neighborhood, but as I pulled up to the stop sign, I felt a wave of something pour over me. I heard my dog whimper. I looked back at her, and she had ducked back into the middle of the back seat, tail between her legs, with her fur sticking out straight out. It felt like I went through a thick sheet of static electricity, honestly, and I began hearing a loud feedback noise inside my head, and the world got blurry. This went on for a few seconds before it cleared up. My car had stalled during this time, so I turned the engine back on and made my way past the stop sign. When I pulled into the main road, I immediately noticed that the streets were vastly different. They were the usual black, but they had a bright white iridescent color to them as well, lighting up the environment. The streets that were usually on the medians on the road were gone as well, replaced by trees. McDonald's was still on the right by my house. I could see the sign. It was in a different building though. The building was much bigger than usual, but so far this is the least strange thing to happen on this drive. So I drove towards it, still very much confused as to the sudden change. My dog in the back of my car seemed to accumulate to this change much better, as she was back to sticking her head out the window and sniffing the air. I pulled up to the only stoplight between me and my destination, and the car in front of me was something I had never seen before. The logo on the back was a silver circle with what looked like a silver silicon eagle in the middle. On the eagle's chest was the letter G in a cursive font. The model of the car was Vapor. The license plate was the same as any other though. So I go through the light, still wondering what the hell happened when I reached the McDonald's. I get to the drive-thru menu, which is all LCD screens updating to show featured menu items and looping gifs of people smiling while they eat. My usual is still on the menu, though, for $2 more than I'm used to paying for it. So I order that. I pull up to the window with my credit card out and at the window ready so I can pay. The worker opens the window and greets me. I greet him and hand him my card. He looks at it and then back at me and says, "We don't accept that here." And then hands me a gadget that reminded me of my dad's blood pressure monitor. I guess I was supposed to put my finger in it, but I was so thrown off I just asked, can I just pay with cash? Cash? Sure, I guess. So I handed him $20 and he inspects it for longer than anyone should and then proceeds to give me my receipt without my change. When I asked him about my change, he looked at me in a very confused face and said, "We don't have cash at this location, sir. We can give cash vouchers." Okay. So I look at my receipt, and lo and behold, the bottom of it says cash value 1126. Good enough for me, I guess. I pulled up to the next window. After waiting a few minutes, the next worker opens up his window with my bag of food in his hand and a big smile on his face. He hands me the bag, and I put the receipt in it out of habit. He then says to me, "Oh, wait, I forgot your fries. Can I have the bag back, please?" So I hand him the bag, and a few seconds later he returns and says, "I hope you have a great day. I hope this I great day spee." This went on for a few seconds. His face and body motions were moving and resetting like when you tilt an N64 game slightly out of the console. I didn't have time to be terrified during the moment, because as this happened, I felt the wave of electricity come over me again, just like that last time I heard my dog whimper. And when I looked back, she was crouched in the back, her fur extended, and just like last time, I heard a loud feedback noise in my head. My eyes took a second to readjust, but when the world came into focus, I saw that I was in a parking lot. I recognized everything. This was the parking lot in the which McDonald's I'm used to is placed. And sure enough, the McDonald's was visible in my rearview mirror as its usual location. So I go through and buy food again. My $20 was missing as my cash voucher or whatever, and drive back. I have no clue what happened, honestly, and I wanted to get much of the detail out as I could while it was fresh in my thoughts. Hey guys, sorry about the little weird part when I was saying spiffy, spee. The guy, that's what he typed on Reddit, so, that's why I was saying that. I don't know what he meant. I think he meant by the weird guy the drive through was acting spiffy or something. But I saw a comment below it, and I thought I should share with you guys to kind of round off the story, and also it was kind of little funny. But somebody mentioned, or somebody commented below that post and said, "I like to think that in some alternate universe, a McDonald's employee is posting to Reddit about this really weird story where some guy pulled up to the drive-through window with a strange-looking car, paid cash for his meal, and then when they took the bag back to put the fries in it, he vanished into thin air along with his car. And now he has the guy's $20 bill, which looks almost exactly like a real $20 bill, except the name of the Secretary of the Treasury on the front is some guy named Timothy F. Griethner, who nobody has never ever heard of." I thought that was pretty funny, and it's also a pretty accurate be analogy explanation, because there's actually a documented case on a guy who actually went to an airport to try to go to this country. I don't know if it was Japan or some other country, but the passport showed a country on there that did not exist, but it was on the passport. And then he had money that nobody was familiar with, nobody knew of, but he said, "This is money, this is real money," and he had it. So I thought that was pretty weird. Um, it's actually a story. You could probably find it on YouTube somewhere. But yeah, thanks for checking out this video, and I'll come out with some more in the future. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon. And another thing too, if you wanna hear more interesting, mysterious events on this channel, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also share. So it will help me a lot. Thanks, guys.